Hello guys, this is Syed Muhammad Waqas. I'm back with another video. In this video I will tell you guys about heat load calculation for TIR building. So I'm gonna calculate the heat load for summer condition as well as monsoon condition. So this is the E20 load sheet which I'm gonna use for heat load calculation. So before starting the load calculation, I'm gonna discuss the tables and the charts with you, because if you understand the tables and charts, then it will be easy for you to calculate the heat load. But before that, I'm going to tell you that this building is located, as you can see that the space reference, this building is located in Rourkela, Odisha, India. And I'm going to calculate the heat load for 40 seat lecture room first. Actually, I have divided this video in 3 or 4 parts. If you see the space schedule over here, building space schedule, there are so many rooms here, and it consists of 4 floors: ground floor, first floor, second floor and third floor. So today in this video I'm gonna discuss this 40 seat lecture room heat load calculation for summer as well as monsoon conditions. As you see that doors and windows schedule is also given over here. What type of door is used here, what type of window is used here, and their dimensions is also given in meter and the feet for doors and windows. So move back to our E20 sheet. So as you know that this building is located in Rourkela, Odisha, India. So first of all we need to check the design conditions, indoor and outdoor design conditions. So move back to our tables and charts. First you need to understand these tables and charts, and then we will proceed to the E20 load sheet for load calculation. So in the first tab, as you can see that we have given the overall heat transfer coefficient U values for the exposed walls, partition walls, roof, ceiling, floors and the glass. Each one is given. So I have used the conversion factor over here. If you want to use the other units, so you can use this one also. We are going to use this watt per square meter degree Celsius. And the second tab you will find the building spacing, the width, length and height is given for each and every room. And the window schedule and door schedule, I already told you about this one, you can see over here. And in the third tab you can find the CLTD, because we are going to use the CLTD method for load calculation. So we will calculate CLTD for different types of the wall exposure. So before that you need to understand one thing: indoor and outdoor design conditions for that Rourkela, Odisha, India. So we know that for the most comfort condition, recommended indoor temperature is 22.78 to 26.11 for summer with 50% relative humidity. And for winter conditions, recommended temperature is 22.1 to 22.22 with relative humidity 20 to 30%. So the temperature which we have selected for this TIR building is based on 23 degrees Celsius, that is 74 degrees Fahrenheit dry bulb, and 50% relative humidity indoor design conditions for this building. This is the selected indoor design condition. And the outdoor design condition you can get from the weather bureau or the airport records or from the local authorities in your area. So we know that from the local authorities the outdoor design temperature of Rourkela is 43 degrees Celsius with the dry bulb, and relative humidity is 46% for summer, and design month for summer is May, and for monsoon outdoor design bulb temperature is 36 degrees Celsius and with 84% relative humidity, and design month of monsoon is July. This is very important to know that the design months for summer design month is May, and for monsoon design month is July. And longitude is 84.54 east, and latitude is 22.12 degree north, and elevation is 219 meters above sea level. So as we know that the indoor outdoor design conditions, so let's move back to our Excel sheet. And first we have to give the area of this 40 seat lecture room, that is 122.9. This is the drawing of this room. You can see over here we have 4 windows W1 and 2 doors with the D4, and you can see that southeast wall is exposed to sun. This is an outer wall, and this southwest, northeast and northwest, these are our partition walls, because we have a non-conditioned space over there, and this is the outer wall. So length of the room is given as 14.17, width is 8.67, and the height is 3.4 meter ceiling height. So area of the glass, we know that we have calculated over here. It is given that area of the glass, which window is used over here, that is W1. So W1 window width is 1.5 and height is 1.8. So width is 1.5 and height is 1.8. Area is 2.7 square meter. This is for one glass. So we have 4 glass, need to multiply with the 4. Area of the door D4. Area of the door same you can get from the schedule D4, that is 1.5 into 2.7. 1.5 into 2.7, that is 4.05 square meter. So total sun facing area, glass area is, since we have 4 glass in this window on the outer wall, that is 2.7 into 4, that is 10.8 square meter. So outside wall area for this, since this wall is facing southeast, we need to get the area for this wall. If you know that this length is 14.17 into the ceiling height, we know that this is 3.4. So 14.17 into 3.4 minus, we need to minus this glass area from the wall in order to get the net area of the wall. So if we minus this glass area, we will get 37.378 square meters is the outside wall area for the southeast wall. And the partition walls, we have northeast, southwest and northwest. So northeast, northwest and southwest. So this partition wall, this is 14.17, this is 8.67. So two walls 8.67. So 8.67 into ceiling height 3.4, and the other wall is also 8.67 into ceiling height 3.4 plus the third wall over here, but we need to subtract the door area D4. 2 doors we have, one door is 4.08, 4.05, you need to multiply with 2. So this length is 14.17 into ceiling height 3.4 minus 2 doors, you will get the partition wall area 99.034 square meters. So since we have calculated everything, we are going to use here in our E20 sheet. So now we have to write the design conditions for summer and monsoon. Summer, we know that design dry bulb is 43, we already checked from our tables and charts. Here as you can see 43, outside dry bulb is 43 for summer, and for monsoon 36, with the 46% for relative humidity for summer and 84% for monsoon. So 43 is the dry bulb temperature outside, and indoor we already know that we have selected 23 degrees Celsius, and outdoor relative humidity is 46, and indoor relative humidity we already know that from here 50%. So we know that 43 outdoor dry bulb and relative humidity 46%. So we need to get these values from the psychrometric calculator, wet bulb and humidity ratio. How you will get that? We know that 43 degree dry bulb outside and 46% relative humidity. So we'll get the wet bulb and humidity ratio. So this is the calculator which I'm going to use. So 43 is the outside dry bulb temperature, and relative humidity outside is 46%. So as you can see that wet bulb calculated is 31.8 and humidity ratio is 0.0254. So 32 and 0.0254. So in the same way, you know that monsoon outside dry bulb is 36 from here, with relative humidity 84% for monsoon. So 84%. So we know that outside dry bulb temperature, we know that relative humidity So same way you can get the wet bulb and humidity ratio from this calculator, psychrometric calculator. So indoor design conditions which we have selected is 23-degree dry bulb and 50% relative humidity. So we know these two parameters. If we put these two parameters in calculator psychrometric, we can get this wet bulb and humidity ratio. So 23 is the indoor dry bulb temperature and 50% relative humidity. 23 and 50% relative humidity. If you calculate, wet bulb is 16 and humidity ratio is 0.0088 kg per kg. So 16 and 0.0088. Same way you can do for monsoon, and then you will calculate the difference for each, because we are going to use this temperature difference and humidity ratio difference in our calculations. So before proceeding for load calculation for solar heat gain for glass and transmission, few things you need to understand from the tables and charts. First we have to calculate the CLTD for this TIIR building for different exposure of the walls, different direction of the exposure of the walls. So let's go to the next step. You have different temperatures here for Rourkela, India, Odisha. As you can see that the average high temperature is 29.7 degrees Celsius and low is 18, and relative humidity according to months is given as, if you remember that summer design dry bulb temperature is 43 with relative humidity 46%. So this is 46% relative humidity we got from here. You can check over here also. And monsoon relative humidity is 84%. Monsoon relative humidity is 84% for the month of July. And these are the CLTD values for D types of the walls, but these are uncorrected CLTDs. For corrected CLTD you need to use this formula, that is corrected CLTD is equal to CLTD plus LM into K plus 25.5 minus TI plus T0 minus 29.4. Here LM is the latitude month correction. CLTD is the uncorrected you can get from this table or another table I will show you later. And K is the correction factor depending on the building color. K is 1 for dark color, 0.8 for medium, and 0.65 for the light color. Since we have dark color walls, we are going to use K1. TI is the inside design temperature and T0 is the outside design temperature. Next step, we have CLTD when the wall is heavier, and latitude month correction for 24-degree north latitude. Since our building is located in 22-degree north latitude, we don't have 22-degree north latitude table. So nearest table we got here is 24-degree north latitude. So we are going to use this table for latitude month correction values. And you can see over here, this is the solar heat gain factor as a GF maximum for maximum solar heat gain factors for the glass for different months and for different directions. Next table over here is the cooling load factor for the glass for different time of the month and for different directions. Then we have rate of heat gain from the occupants. So according to the occupancy of the people, we'll get the sensible heat and latent heat values from this table. And then we have a table for lightning load for different types of buildings or different types of spaces. And then we have a heat gain for office equipments like computer, monitor, laser printer and photocopier machines. Then we have infiltration load calculation. For infiltration load calculation, we have number of air changes per hour. We can get from here number of air changes per hour. And then ventilation rate per person per area is given from this table in CFM per person or cubic meter per minute per person, and then CFM per square feet and outdoor air cubic meter per minute per square meter. So both units it is given here, and these are the formulas which we are going to use in our E20 sheet. These are main important formulas. First one is amount of infiltration is calculated by this formula, volume of the space into air changes per hour divided by 60. Then sensible heat factor is equal to total sensible heat divided by total heat of the room, and load in a ton is calculated by total load in a watt divided by 3500. So this is by mistake, it should be 3500 not 35,000, so 3500. And overall heat transfer from outside and the rate of heat transfer from outside to inside is calculated by formula Q is equal to QACLTD corrected. And sensible heat gain due to infiltration is calculated by Q sensible infiltration is this formula, and Q infiltration latent heat is calculated by this formula. These 20.44 and 50,000 are the constant factors, and T naught Ti is the outside inside design temperatures, and W naught and Wi are the specific humidity of the outside conditions and inside conditions, and V infiltration is calculated by this formula. So you need to use this value over here to calculate the infiltration load. So as you know all the tables over here, so let's move back to our Excel sheet and start doing the calculation. So we already know the area, we know the ceiling height, volume. Volume is calculated by multiplying this area with the ceiling height. You will get the volume, that is 417 cubic meter. This we already added here. And now the bypass factor, by default we have bypass factor is 0.12. Normally it is 0.12. So contact factor is 1 minus bypass factor. 1 minus 0.12, you will get bypass factor. Number of air changes per hour is 1. So how did we get this number of air changes per hour, that is 1? Go back to our tables and charts. So as you can see that this is the number of air changes per hour for kind of the room or the building. Room with no windows or outside doors, it's 0.5 to 0.75. Room with one wall exposed, since we have one wall exposed, as you can see that this is only one wall exposed to the sunlight, so we are going to use a number of air changes per hour, that is 1. In ASHRAE book you can find a lot of building spaces with air changes per hour. So we are going to use 1 here, since we have one wall exposed, sun facing wall, that is southeast. So that's why we have used number of air changes per hour 1. And infiltration load, as I already told you about this one, infiltration flow rate is calculated by this formula, that is volume of space into air changes per hour divided by 60. So this is the volume into a number of air changes per hour, that is 1 divided by 60. So you will get the infiltration flow rate is 7 cubic meter per minute. So let me add the unit here. So this is the infiltration rate, 7 cubic meter per minute, and shading coefficient you can get from the glass supplier. Shading coefficient we used here is 1. So first we will calculate the solar heat gain for the glass. As you can see in the drawing, this is the wall exposed to sun, this is the outer wall, and how many glass we have here? 1 2 3 4, and one glass area is 2.7, and 10 glass area is 4 glass area is 2.7 into 4, that is 10.8 square meters. So since we have only one glass, that is X in the wall, this one solar heat gain for the glass, since we have only one glass and its area is 10.8 square meters, and U factor for the it's not the U factor, this one you can get from the table. I will show you now. Southeast wall we have 10.8 square meters glass area, and this factor we can calculate from the table. Since this wall is facing southeast, so move back to our table. First we will get the solar heat gain factor from here for the southeast wall. Since we are calculating, we need to calculate for summer and monsoon both. So first for summer, solar heat gain factor, this one 372. How did we get this? So since May is the design temperature for summer and southeast wall exposure, this is southeast and May is the design temperature, design month. So southeast wall maximum solar heat gain factor for 22 degree north latitude is 372 watt per square meters. So 372, this is how we get 372. And for southeast, for monsoon design month is July, so this is 360 solar heat gain factor for July for southeast wall, that is 360 watt per square meter. This is how we get 360 watt per square meter. And the last, we need to get the factor from the table for the glass, cooling load factor for the glass. So we can get this cooling load factor of the glass from table 3.10. So cooling load factor for glass, window glass with indoor shading, since we have southeast exposure and the maximum load will occur at 3 p.m. of the solar time. So for southeast 3 p.m. this is the value of cooling load factor. Southeast 15, that is 3 p.m. So cooling load factor is 0.25. That's how we got 0.25. If you have other wall exposed, so same way you can get the cooling load factors. So what we have to do now, we have to multiply this area with cooling load factor with solar heat gain factor maximum into shading coefficient. So this is the formula we have used, shading coefficient into solar heat gain factor maximum into cooling load factor into area. So this is how we get 1004 watts for solar heat gain for the glass exposed to southeast wall. So in the same way you have to calculate this one. In this point you have to use 360 instead of 372. So since we have only one glass exposed outside, that is to the southeast direction, so total solar heat gain for the glass is 1004 for summer, and for monsoon is 972 watts. So next we have solar and transmission gain for the walls and roof. So this is also for outside wall. So as you know that we already calculated the outside wall area. Outside wall is southeast and its area is 37.37 after subtracting the glass area 37.3. So southeast wall 37.3, that is 37.4 we have used here. And for the wall, U factor is 1.07, we already know from the table. This outside wall U factor is 1.07, and then we have to calculate the CLTD. Now this is very important to calculate the CLTD. Let's move back to our tables here. CLTD corrected, we have to use the corrected CLTD here. So CLTD corrected is equal to CLTD uncorrected plus LM into K plus 25.5 minus TI plus T0 minus 29.7. So Ti is the inside design temperature, T0 is the outside design temperature. This for summer and monsoon both we have to use one by one. So how did we get CLTD? Since our move back here, As you can see that the exposed walls of the buildings are thermally heavier than group D type wall due to added insulation than uncorrected CLTD of the wall from the table 3.7. So our walls used here are heavier than D type walls, so that's why we have used table 3.7. So we are going to use this table 3.7 because our walls is heavier due to added insulation. So as you can see that for different directions, CLTD uncorrected values are given here for north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west and northwest. So we are going to use these values. Direction north we have right here, CLTD values the same which we have seen here, 6, 9, 12, 12, 9, 12, 12, 9. So same. And K, as I already told you, we have dark color walls, so we have used K value 1. And LM is the latitude month correction factor you can find here for 24 degree north latitude. We don't have table for 22, so we have used the closest one, that is 24 degree north latitude, as you can see over here, for different exposure of the walls. So we know that summer design dry bulb temperature is 43 and monsoon design dry bulb temperature is 36 from here, and inside design temperature which we have selected is 23 degrees Celsius. So after putting all the values here, one time you have to use T naught is 43 and second for summer the month of May, and second time you have to use T naught 36 for monsoon. So after using all the values, you will calculate the CLTD corrected for north exposure of the wall, for northeast, for east, for southeast, for each and every one you can calculate the corrected CLTD values. So this is how you can calculate the corrected CLTD values. Now move back to our Excel sheet. Since this wall is exposed to southeast direction, so this is the southeast direction. For summer design month is May and corrected CLTD is 24.8, and monsoon it is 17.8. so 24.8 and 17.8 for monsoon. So 24.8, this is how we got this temperature difference CLTD value, and 17.8 for monsoon. So how you calculate the heat load? You need to multiply this wall area with U factor into CLTD, UACLTD. So you will get the load, that is 992 watts. Same way you have to calculate for monsoon. This time you have used this temperature CLTD 17.8 for monsoon. So roof, since we have this area or space on the ground floor and space above this room is conditioned, that's why this roof load is 0, because the space above this room is conditioned, that's why we have roof load 0. So southeast wall total is, so the solar and transmission gain is 992 for summer and 712 for monsoon. Now transmission gain except walls and the roof, all glass area we have here is 4 glass, 2.7 into 4, 10.8 square meter. This is the transmission gain except walls and the roof. First we calculate the solar, now transmission gain for the glass. 10.8 is the area of the glass. U factor you can get from tables and charts. As you can see, the U factor for glass is 5.6, floor 4.5, ceiling 2.8, partition wall 1.86. So glass 5.6, partition wall is 1.86, and ceiling is 2.8 and floor is 4.5. And partition wall area we already calculated here. As you can see, this is the partition wall area 99.034. Ceiling area is same as our room area and floor area is same as our room area. So now the last thing which we have to calculate here is the temperature difference, because we are going to use UA delta T formula over here to calculate the load requirement of transmission gain through the glass partition wall and the ceiling and the floor. UA delta T. So we know that A, we know that U, we have to calculate delta T. Delta T for summer, we already calculated here. Summer delta T design dry bulb temperature is 20 and monsoon design dry bulb temperature is outside minus inside 13. So 20 for summer and 13 more for monsoon. 20 for summer and 13 for monsoon. Same value we have used here. So how you get the load? You need to multiply this U, A and delta T. Same for monsoon, U, A and delta T is for monsoon. In the same way you have to calculate for partition, ceiling and the floor, and then add all these loads together. You will get the total transmission gain except for walls and the roof. Total transmission gain is 17,467 watts for summer, and for monsoon is 9,457 watts. So now infiltration load we have to calculate. Infiltration flow rate we already calculated before, if you remember. Infiltration flow rate is this one, that is 7 cubic meter per minute. 7. And if you remember that the formula which I told you for infiltration load calculation, this is the formula for sensible and this is for the latent. So constant factor we use here is 20.44 as per formula into 20.44 into V infiltration into T naught minus Ti and 50,000 into V infiltration W naught minus Wi. This is the humidity ratio difference outside and inside design conditions. So this is a formula 20.44, and temperature difference is same for summer and monsoon. We already know that it is 20 for summer and 13 for monsoon. So 20 for summer and 13 for monsoon. So you need to multiply all these values in V infiltration into 20.44 into temperature difference. You will get the infiltration load for summer and for monsoon with delta T, this one. And now you have to calculate the internal heat load due to the people, lights and appliances. So number of people, you can get this from architecture. Since we know that 40 number of people, we can get this from the seating plan. Since we know that 40 people are going to accommodate this space, so we have used 40 people, and the factor how much watt required per person. Since this is the 40 seat lecture room, so move back to our tables and charts. So this is the rate of heat gain from the occupants we can get from this table. As you can see over here, this is the seated very light work. So this column, this row we are going to use for the office seated very light work. So sensible heat is 70 and latent heat is 45, 70 and 45 watt per person. So sensible is 70 and latent we're gonna use here for the people, that is 45. So 40 number of people and 70 watt per person is required. So for summer you need to multiply this together, you will get total watt. It will be same for monsoon. For lightning load, we know that the area of the space is 122.9, and lightning, how much watt per square meter is required, we can get from the table here. So this is the table we are gonna use, typical lightning load. Since we have a lecture training room, and you can see the lightning power is watt per square meter, 15 watt per square meter for lecture, classroom or training, 15 watt per square meter, this one. So this is why we have used 15 watt per square meter. You need to multiply this with the area, you will get the total watts required due to the lightning. Same for the monsoon. There is no power from other equipment, so it's 0. Now the total sensible heat load, we need to sum up all the load which we have calculated above, that is solar heat gain, transmission heat gain for the walls and the roof, for glass partition ceiling, for and then infiltration load due to the people, lightning, all of these sum together here. So room sensible heat load is this much for summer and this much for monsoon. And then we are going to use 10% safety factor for both. So total room sensible heat load is 29,650 watts for summer. For monsoon is 19,399 watts. And then room latent heat calculation. Latent heat calculation, infiltration air, we know that 7 cubic meter per minute, we already calculated before. So the same formula which we are going to use for the latent heat, 50,000 for infiltration, W0 minus Wi. So 50,000 is the constant factor. We know the flow rate and humidity difference. How did we get 0.0166? You can see over here humidity ratio difference is 0.01 for summer, and for monsoon is 0.0234. So 0.0166 for summer and 0.0234 for monsoon. So you just need to multiply these three factors, you will get the total watt latent heat due to the infiltration load. And then over here also for monsoon you need to multiply this one and humidity ratio for monsoon. And then latent heat due to the people, since we have 40 people and we already know from the table that is 45 watt required per person for the latent heat. So 40 into 45, you will get 1800 watts for summer and 1800 for the monsoon. So total latent heat is that much, and 5% safety factor, if we add, it will be this much. So 5% safety factor and total latent heat. So if you add them, you will get the total latent heat here, that is 7,900 is the total latent heat. And if you want to get the total room heat, you need to sum room sensible and room latent. Total heat for room sensible, total heat for room latent. So it will give you 37,000, that is room sensible heat and room latent heat. This is the total heat for the room for summer and for monsoon. Then finally we have to calculate this outside air heat. Outside, how much is required per person or per square meters. We need to get this from table. So this is the ventilation requirement per person and per square meter of the area. Since we have a lecture room, so we are going to use this row, and outdoor air cubic meter per person is 0.23, and we know that we have 40 people, so 0.23 is cubic meter per minute per person. We have 40%, so 9.2 cubic meter per minute due to the number of people. And then due to the area also we have to calculate, because it is the sum of outdoor air due to the person and due to the area. So 9.2 it's due to the people, and due to the area, outdoor air requirement is 0.02 cubic meter per minute per square meter. We know that the area is 122.9 square meters, multiply by 0.02. This is due to the area 2.4 cubic meter, so 2.5 plus 9.2, total 11.65. so same we have used here, that is 2.5 and 9.2, there is 11.7 cubic meter per minute. This is for sensible heat load calculation due to the outside air. And the contact factor, we know that it's 1 minus bypass factor. Bypass factor we already know it's 0.12, so contact factor is 0.88. If you remember that, we already calculated here. This is the contact factor 0.18, and then this is the formula constant factor 20.44, and summer design we know that it's 20 and monsoon is 13 degrees centigrade. So you need to multiply this outdoor air flow rate requirement with contact factor with this constant factor and temperature difference. You will get the watt for the summer. Same way you will get the watt for the monsoon, but this time you need to take this temperature 13. Then you have to calculate this is the sensible load for summer and the monsoon. Now outside air latent heat load for summer and monsoon, this time you have to use humidity ratio difference. We know that already calculated before these values, so we have to use these values over here. So for summer it's calculated as 8546 watt, and for monsoon 12,000 watts. So total heat load is calculated as here for summer is 50,000, for monsoon is 44,600. So total is the sum of this room total heat plus heat load due to the outside air for sensible and latent. This is the total heat load. So now we have to add 5% safety factor for both summer and monsoon, and the grand total will be the sum of these two. So grand total will be the sum of these two, that is 52,882 for summer and 46,858 for monsoon. And now we have to calculate the tonnage. Tonnage is total watts divided by 3500. You will get the tonnage for the system. As you can see that total watt is 52,882 divided by 3500. You will get 15.1 tons AC requirement and 15.1 for the summer and 13.4 for the monsoon. And sensible heat factor we have to calculate here, that is room sensible heat divided by room total heat. Sensible heat we already calculated here, that is 29,000 divided by total heat is 37,000. If you will divide, you will get the sensible heat factor values. And same way you will calculate for monsoon, that is 0.65. So ADP I don't have a chart right now, but later I'm gonna add this chart. If you remember that the heat load calculations I performed in my tutorial number 16 and 17, you can use the same table and chart. I don't have it right now, but I'm gonna add it later, so you can use that chart. And after using the chart you will get the ADP, that is 10.3 degrees Celsius for this summer and 7 degrees Celsius for monsoon. And then finally we have to calculate the dehumidified air quantity. So dehumidified rise, first we have to calculate, that is 1 minus bypass factor into room temperature minus ADP. We know that bypass factor, that is 0.12 into room temperature, we know that 23 degrees Celsius, and ADP 10.3 for summer. So dehumidified rise is 11.17 for summer and monsoon is 14. So now we have to calculate the dehumidified air requirement for summer and for monsoon. Humidified air requirement for summer is room sensible heat divided by 20.4 into dehumidified rise. So room sensible heat we already calculated before, as you see over here, this one, divided by 20.4 into dehumidified rise, this one 11.176. So after that we get the dehumidified air is 130 cubic meter per minute for summer and 67 for the monsoon. So now we are going to use 5% safety factor for summer and monsoon, and final dehumidified air quantity we have calculated for summer is 136 cubic meter per minute and 71 cubic meter per minute for the monsoon. So we are going to select machine based on summer, because this will gonna fulfill the requirement for the monsoon also. So whatever is larger we are going to select machine but basically we select machine based on two conditions. First is your flow rate, that is 136 cubic meter per minute, and second is your static pressure calculations. So based on these things we are going to select the machine for 40 seat lecture room. So this is the load calculation for one room, 40 seat lecture room. In the next video I'm gonna discuss load calculation for some other room with the different parameters. This one. So first I have used this one, so next time I'm gonna use some other room. So if you have any doubts, maybe it will be clear in my next video. So basically this video will have 4 parts. First part is covered. In second and third and fourth part I'm gonna use some other space to calculate the heat load. So the purpose here for calculating for different spaces, each one of them will have a different exposure to the walls, different parameters, so it will help you if you have any doubts. So for more videos keep watching my channel and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.